Okay, in this example, I'm going to show you how to do what we call absolute and relative cell referencing. In this example, I'm going to have a very simple spreadsheet that has some expenses listed, like utilities, rent, car, groceries, and that should be enough. And then I've got the cost of my utilities in here as well, and my groceries at $3.20, let's say. Okay, and this is going to be the amount here. Okay, what I want to do is I want to first of all total up just what all of my monthly expenses are. So what I do is I put my mouse underneath the last figure in my amount column on cell C10, and then I can just go up here to the very top where it says auto sum, and I click on it. That will automatically stop at the last numerical value, and then I can just press enter. And there you go. Be nice to format it so it's a dollar sign, so I'm going to go like that as well, and then go over here to the decimals and move it so that I get just round numbers, because this is not necessary to have pennies in this example. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to create a formula once that calculates what percent of my total expenses each of these expense categories represents. So the easiest way to do this is to create a formula once and then copy it down and have it be accurate. You can visualize, I've worked with spreadsheets with thousands and thousands and thousands of rows. So to type out that formula for every row is just too time consuming. So you want to be able to put one formula in cell D6 and then copy it down and have it calculate first 200 divided by 470, because that's how you calculate a percentage, and put the percent there. And then you want to take 800 and divide it by 1470 and put the percent there. Then you want to take 150 and divide it by 470 and put it there. And then you want to take 320 and divide it by 1470 and put it there. And then you want to divide 1470 by itself and put 100% automatically calculated right there. Okay? So you see, when I do this, this figure here keeps changing in every formula. In the first formula, 200 is the numerator and 1470 is the denominator. In this percent, 800 is the numerator and 1470 is the denominator. And so, what's happening here is that the numerator of the formula is changing, but this 1470 is remaining static. It doesn't move. Let me show you what happens if we do it wrong, how some people might do it if they're new to Excel. I'm going to do it wrong here, okay? I'm going to go 200, and I'm going to go divided by 1470, okay? Now this isn't right, because look what happens when you copy this down using the fill handle. Do you see how I get a divide by 0 error? That's because when you look at the formula here, I'm going to go Control and then the button at the top left of my keyboard underneath the escape key. That shows all the formulas. It's a toggle. Control tilde it's called. Okay, it's a little squiggly. Control squiggle. Okay, basically, this first formula is right. C6 is 200 divided by C10, which was that 1400 odd figure down here. That was correct. But when I copied this formula down, the numerator adjusted to the 800, but then this moved down to C11, which is where this red cell is now. Well, there's nothing there, so it got treated as 0. So that's why Excel is trying to take 800 and divide it by 0. And from math, anything divided by 0 ends up being an error or infinity. So we need to figure out a way of harnessing Excel's power while, to be able to create formulas that automatically adjust to values when you copy for the numerator, but keeping the denominator static in the formula. And the way you do that is you do what's called absolute cell addressing. The top formula is called relative cell address formatting. The denominator needs to use what we call absolute referencing. So to make this bottom reference absolute, meaning that it never moves no matter where we paste the formula, what you have to do is go up here to the formula bar and put your mouse right between the C and the 10, right between the alpha and the numeric, and then press the F4, F as in Frank 4. Okay, that put dollar signs around the C. If your computer is an Apple or another computer that doesn't have that doesn't allow you to use F4, then what you're going to have to do is physically type in the dollar signs or do some research about how to do that automatically on your specific keyboard. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press enter, and if I toggle using control squiggle, control tilde, you can see that this is the 0.14 that we had previously. But let's now try to copy this all the way down. You see how it did it properly? I didn't get any divide by zero errors. So what happened was it took the numerator, which was formerly C6, and it updated it to C7 for its new position on row 7. But C10 with the dollar signs around the C makes it go back to 1470 every single time as the denominator. Here, 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 and here. Look at the formula. See how C10 is all in the bottom? That's absolute cell addressing. So that's an important concept, and I'm sure it's been bothering you that this is a dollar sign and not a percent. So I'm going to highlight this by putting my mouse in the center of the cell, dragging it down, and then hitting the percent button. There you go. And now you've done what we call relative for the numerator and absolute for the denominator cell referencing. Thank you.